Curious, I have a good idea of the ABA field, but what's hard in speech therapy? What are some of the barriers on the speech side of things?
Absolutely. A lot of speech therapists don't now. This is old me talking now. It might be different now, and it is a little different, but old me never took a course on autism. I never had to take a course on autism. When I came out of the field, it was 1 in 250. That was the incidence rate. They said it was 4 to 1 boys. There's all these like old antiquated numbers out there. And so speech therapists don't really ever get coursework, and they may now, but in how to help students who engage in unsafe problem behavior or just behavior that's a barrier to learning. We don't learn how to help and how to reach the student that's hard to reach. And that's really my life's work at ABA Speech. So I try to really help speech therapists. And we have courses at ABA Speech, when behavior is a barrier. And I talk about ABC data, and I talk about what BCBAs can help with, what a FBA is. We don't learn these things as speech therapists. Not every kid's going to come and sit down for therapy. So how do we still reach that student? And I think that's something that's really hard. And also when you're a public school speech therapist, you are tasked with helping everybody. Kids who have selective mutism, kids who stutter, kids who use AAC devices, kids who have ADHD and autism. You help everybody. And so it's really hard to know, how do you help everybody? And so those are some things that are really tough. And data. How do we take data? We talk about that in school kind of as like the big idea, but as a BCBA, my data was so tight. I worked in a really affluent district for 10 years, and it was a great experience, but we had a lot of advocates and lawyers. And one time we had a family who really wanted to leverage moving the student to a non-public program and have the district pay for it. And they subpoenaed our data binders. And I was like, take them. This is a model of how you should take data. We were graphing data. We were doing things that nobody does. I was look at that visual analysis and running maintenance data. Yay for us. Because I just really always come from a place of helping my students, taking data every session and analyzing that data to make decisions. But that's really hard for people to understand how to do that for every single session. It's tough.
What about developmental? Like, is that something that you, as a speech therapist, were taught about? Like, what is age appropriate for children? Because I think that's something with like BCBA, sometimes they set goals that like they're not, a child's not ready for them. Like, is that something that speech therapy you understand coming out of school?
100%. We take courses, and I remember I took a course in developmental psychology. We take courses in speech sounds. That's the thing too, is we take a 3-hour course in how do you make every single speech sound. We take courses on the anatomy and physiology of the speech and hearing mechanism. We take courses on every single disorder and communication disorders. And I think then once you get into the field, then you're kind of I was like, autism, this is what I love to do. And this is what I, want to do and I'm passionate about. But you do get so much information on typical development. And that I know has helped me, Stephen, in goal setting. And I know that that's why people come to ABA Speech. One person had mentioned recently, like, okay, I finally get it. Because when you don't have all these pieces and parts, it's hard for us to understand, okay, this kid is aggressive. They're not they're not potty trained. They can't drink from a cup or use utensils. And now I have to help this kid find a way to communicate with the world. Go. How do we get started? It's tough to know how we get started. And that's why I think those of us that are dually certified have this special brain power to think like, oh, this is the path forward. And there's fewer than about 500 of us in the world right now, I believe. And so it's really just such a neat way to be able to help people understand that speech therapy and ABA together is really a science, but it's also an art form and how they complement each other.